everybody.
Hi everybody.
פרשת שמות, ואלה שמות בני ישראל היורדים מצרימה. The children of Israel are living in Egypt. After Yosef passed away, we have a new king in Egypt that does not recognize Yosef. We have the birth of Moshe Rabbeinu. Moshe runs away to Midian and meets Zipporah, his wife. We have the burning bush, Hasneh Boer. Moshe gets signs from God, and Moshe comes back to confront Paro in Mitzrayim, in Egypt. Slavery. In order for us to understand the Parsha, we still need to understand another thing before it. And it is how did the people of Israel actually became slaves. Now, Sefer HaYashar in the Midrash talks about it. The brothers start to die. After Yosef passed away, the brothers start to die also. And Levi is the last brother to die. The children of Israel are living right now in Egypt for 91 years. They are fearless warriors, very strong. They prosper. They have many children. And Paro starts to be very ungrateful. Now, we need to understand that God blesses Pharaoh and blesses the whole nation of Egypt because the people of Israel are there. The advisors of Paro are seeing the power of the people of Israel, and they tell Paro that these people are very dangerous for the country. They can actually conquer it and destroy it. They offer Paro that the people of Israel will start working for him for salary. And slowly, they will lower their salary and raise their taxes until these people will become slaves. Paro offers something really nice. He offers a salary, a high salary for work to be done, to build the cities of Pitom and Ramses. Come, be my workers. You don't need to be a shepherd anymore. And you'll work for me. Now, all this lovey-dovey story doesn't sit well on the ears of the tribe of Levi. And they decide not to join the party. The other tribes do say, okay, they're stopping to be shepherds. They're giving away their liberty. And later on, Paro takes down their salary and raises up their taxes. And then they become slaves to Paro. They suffer. They have a lot of misery beyond any imagination. Now, don't forget that back then, Egypt was the capital of the black magic of the world. And all the energy of life is being sucked out of the people of Israel right now. When you think about it, we can become slaves and be sucked into slavery because it's very comfortable to be a slave. Everybody tells you what to do and where to go and how to go. You get a salary, and a slave is not responsible for nothing. But where's the border? Now, if we think of our own life today, in our daily life, yes, of course you need to respect your boss. Of course you need to be loyal to the place you work. But remember, we're not slaves of anybody. We are free men. We're free people.
The Israelites are slaves, and Paro is torturing them. Don't forget, this is not the same Paro. This is a Paro that came after and was ungrateful and forgot about all that Yosef did for his country and all the hunger that, stopped when Yaakov came and all the good things that the Israelites did for him and for Egypt. But this is the capital of black magic. Egypt didn't really have a big army. They control nations and people with the power of dark magic and spells. They make people feel that there's nothing they can do to change the situation, that there's no hope to be free. And that's how they broke their spirit and made them slaves. That was the real thing. Now, during this time, there are more and more decrees that Paro and his advisors are giving to the people, not just to the Israelites, to all their nations. All the nations that were their slaves. because, as we said, when the Israelites were there, the power of Egypt grew into an empire. So what's happening is that at one point, Paro says, and that's the whole story I don't want to go to, that talks about why he saw in the stars that there's going to be a baby that's going to be born and it's going to take his place. And then he decides to throw all the male babies to the Niles. And then we know that in the parasha, there was a woman that was the daughter of Levi. Her name was Yocheved. And her husband was also from the tribe of Levi. His name was Amram. And they have two children, Aharon and Miriam. And then the mother gives birth to a beautiful baby. But then later on, his name is going to be Moshe, who we know in English, Moses. And she puts him in the basket because she doesn't want him to die. And as soon as he goes to the Niles, it's like the prediction is over, because it feels like, oh, we threw all the babies, right? So the baby is there, but Moshe didn't die. We know that, in fact, he came all the way to where Paro's daughter, Batya, was bathing, and then she saw him and she saved his life. But this is all, if we can look at it, it's the hand of God. Because even Batya, she was a daughter of Paro. But the name in Hebrew, Batya, means the daughter of Hashem. So Hashem planted a very special soul inside Batya, actually like a Jewish soul there, to help and to be able to save the baby instead of, God forbid, killing him. Moshe grows in the palace for 40 years. Can you imagine 40 years that he grows in the biggest impurity? All the things you can imagine, they did it. And imagine that you're not only in the black magic capital of the world, you're also in the palace, in Paro's palace, Pharaoh's palace. That's what Moshe saw all around him. But still, at one point, when he's 40 years old, he goes out and he wants to see with his own eyes. And as soon as he goes out, he sees the suffering. He sees how the people that now he starts to recognize as his people are suffering. He cannot ignore it. He cannot just sit in his comfortable palace and think, okay, I don't need to care about other people. No, he could not take it that he is comfortable maybe, that other people are slaves and paying with their lives. And then he sees an Egyptian guy trying to harm a Jew, and then he kills the Egyptian. And at that point, he runs to the desert. He leaves everything behind him. What do you think? Paro could not forgive him? He could have gone to Paro and says, okay, I'm sorry, I don't know what went into me. But Moshe, in a way, goes through an identity crisis. He doesn't want to go back and be a king or a prince anymore when he saw what's going on. So he just leaves everything behind him and runs to the desert. In the desert, he goes to the house of Yitro. Yitro later on becomes the first real convert in the Torah to Judaism. He marries his daughter of Yitro, Tzipora, and he becomes a shepherd. Again, goes back, Hashem, when he wants someone to be a good leader, he usually lets him be a shepherd. Because the shepherd knows how to behave with the strong part of the herd, and with the weak one, with the young ones, with the old ones. He becomes a shepherd. And then, at one point, he goes, and we know the famous stories, and he sees a burning bush, and he hears the voice of Hashem. And Hashem says, that's not where you end your life. I understand, it's nice and warm and comfortable here, but you have to go. You have to go back and save your people. And Moshe says, I don't want to, I can't, I'm a starter, I can't do it. I want, at one point, Hashem says, okay, take Aaron, your brother, with you. But you have to go back. And sometimes when we have chances in our lives to really do good, we feel like, we can't, I don't know if I should say that or I should do. It's okay. You have to learn to talk in the right way. But to be a true leader is to have a lot of humbleness. Moshe didn't even want to go. He felt there must be someone else that is much better than him. But nevertheless, Hashem said, you have to go. And Moshe went. But through all the next parashot, we're going to see the true leader inside Moshe that was always so humble, always caring for other people's pain, always even sacrificing his own, himself just for other people. So this is like when we say that the job chose him, because he didn't have that ego. Yeah, I'm the leader and I'm this. And he just did it because that was what Hashem asked him to do. This is what the will of Hashem was. And this whole book right now of Shmot is dealing with what is our job in the world and how should we get close to Hashem.
Sefer Shmot is the second book of the Torah. It starts with the Parashat Shmot and follows up with other parashot. The first 6 weeks are these parashot: Shmot Vayera, Bo, Beshalach, Yitro, Mishpatim. The first letter of each parsha gives you an acronym for the word Shovavim, which means in English mischief. Parashat Shmot starts this period of time. In this period of time, the skies are open for returning to God, because we have the ability to fix all the bad things, the negative things that we did, right from the root, right from the seed level, and understanding where we did wrong, and we have the ability to correct it. God is calling us back. Come back. Return, my mischief boys. Shuvu elai banim shovavim. The Zohar in Parashat Shmot, Daf Yud page 19, talks about this period and about the screaming of the people of Israel, like it shows in this parsha. The people of Israel scream to God. And it says, Gdola hi tza'aka shekora'at gzar dino shel adam mikol yamav. So when you scream really bad to God, it can rip off all the judgment that you had in your life. And you can receive your correction by digging in deeply to the things that you did.
So just like the book of Bereshit is the Sfirat Keter, which is the seed level, the book of Shmot is Sfirat Chokhmah, the sphere of Chokhmah. And the sphere of Chokhmah, Chokhmah is like wisdom, the high wisdom. But it works in a way that the whole book, it comes to give us something. And it also connects to what Noam says about Shovavim, because when we look at those parashot, it tells all the story that is about Exodus. But Pesach, when we really celebrate the Exodus of Israel and going out of our own Egypt, is in a few months ahead. So why are we learning about it right now and not later on in the year? And the answer is because we are preparing our vessel for Pesach already right now. And as Noam says, the sky is opening, they're opening for us to do tshuva, because if you want to get a lot of light in Pesach, in Passover, and that you don't want it to pass over you, you have to prepare your vessel and to cleanse and expand yourself to be able to draw more and more light when it's the right time. And to break out of your own Egypt, to break your own slavery, whether it's a mental or physical one. So Sfirat Chokhmah here is the one that's helping us to really grasp that idea. And Sfirat Chokhmah is actually a beginning of every idea when it's very, very abstract. It's like pure light. We call it Or Ein Sof, the endless light that is coming into our world, before it's even getting into the matter. And it's like a divine, godly light. And the way that we can even think about connecting to it is by completely canceling any physical egoism or any physical reality. Because when we think about ourselves as only ourselves, we kind of cancel our connection and being one with Hashem. When we really understand that in this world, the matter is an illusion. Albert Einstein said that. And in, even matter in our world, it's energy that was taken to a low frequency in order for us to really feel it or see it. Everything is energy. And our job in this world is to be one with God, one with Hashem. No someone that will come and just take the energy for you and do it for you. You have to connect directly to Hashem. People can help. People can be good leaders. They can be role models, but you have to open your own channel with Hashem. And the way you do it is with a lot of modesty and understanding a concept in Judaism that in one sentence, and I'll say it first in Hebrew, it's En od milvado. There's nothing beside Hashem. When you're really canceling and humble yourself so much to really understand this whole world, the walls, the light, the table, other people, we're all one with Hashem. There's nothing more than Him. En od milvado. You start to really connect to what it means to live your life, to meet other people, to connect to every person, to love other people, and to work on less judgment, less fears, less hatred. And you start to really see. If you remember last parasha, we talked about what can we see with our soul, not just with our physical eyes. What can we see beyond the illusion? And this is where we can start really, really see. That's the beauty of this book. It's coming to really help us to really see. We just have to kind of give in into the process. Cleanse. Don't think that you did something that was so bad that Hashem would not forgive you for it. You can still cleanse it. You can find ways to do tshuva, return to Hashem. The way you do it, again, is with being one with Hashem. Hashem is kind, God is kind, be kind. Hashem is merciful, be merciful. Connect to the good instead of to the bad side, to the black side. Connect to the holiness instead of the impurity. Cleanse yourself. Love. It's so simple. And it's okay to be simple. We all want to be all this, all that, and all that. Be simple, be humble, be pure, be kind. Just say every morning, I want to do the will of Hashem. I want to know what my soul came to do in this world. And I want to do it. And I want to do it now. And I want to bless you guys. I want to bless you all over the world. That you will find what the spark of Hashem, the spark of God, that God put in every one of you, came to do in this world. And that you'll see that spark that others have in them, and you'll have compassion to them and to this whole beautiful universe that needs us so much. May we all live to our fullest and get our potential to the reality and bring Mashiach and do this world the most beautiful place that it can be. All the best.
All the best.